Okay, it's a short video on how to use the packet tracer. If you look at here on the left bottom, you have got some icons. This is your network devices, and you can see here it's written network devices. So when we say network devices, you see here there are different types of routers. So you can take this router, you can take this router. Now if you look at here, there are different types of routers, and of course they do have a lot of things in common, and there will be always a few things that one has got the other didn't have. Now if you click here, there are end devices like tablets, PCs, laptops, servers. So let's say you can take PCs, computers, laptops. These are connectors. There are different types of connectors. Switches. So if you look at here, there are different types of switches. If you are doing something very complex, maybe you will use layer 3 switches, but most of the time you will be using layer 2 switches. These things are not very important. So here you do have some wireless access points. These are related to if you are doing something which is related to wireless. This is a firewall if you are doing something which is related to firewall. Now take one of the routers, and you see this is the back of the router, and you can zoom in, and there is a power switch as well, and also zoom out. You see these are different empty slots, and these are different types of sockets that you can put in the empty slots. Now you should know what these slots, what are the different types of sockets that you have here. The problem is you don't have to know everything, okay? But if you know that, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Just take one of them, put it here. It says you cannot add a module when the power is on, so you need to turn off. So if I zoom in, you will be able to see you need to turn off before you can add something, okay? And if you want to remove, you can just remove it. For switches, you won't be able to do that, okay? Now it depends, okay, which model you are taking, what device you are taking. Based on all these things, it depends whether you can do it or you can't do it, but you know it can be done. And if you go to a device in the back, and if it can't be done, it can't be done. Now if you look at here, for this one there are 4 slots. So if you look at here, you have got 2 serial and 2 fast Ethernet, I believe, or gigabit Ethernet. Here you have, just have to zoom in and look here, fast Ethernet. If you run out of the ports and you need more fast Ethernet, you can just take from here. You can just take from here if you run out of the ports, okay? Now if you look at here, we have got 2 routers. Now let's get 2 routers. For there are different types of connections. You have got straight through, crossover. Mostly there are a few connections that you will need. If I just show you from here, so okay, so there is straight through, this is crossover, this is serial, and this is console. Straight through is mostly used when you are connecting different layer devices. For example, layer connecting layer 2 with layer 3. Crossover is mostly used when you are connecting same layer devices, layer 2 with layer 2 or layer 3 with layer 3. Now you might be confused sometimes here, like it will be always switch to switch or router to router. It can also happen a PC is a layer 3 device or a server, you can think, and it is connected to a router, which happens to be a layer 3 device as well. Console, we'll come to that later. Serial is a very old connection, and it is always between router to router. It will be always between router to router. Okay, take different types of connections and check what works. Now console connection, which is a very important one. All the connections that we have seen here, they are for data transfer. Okay, data transfer. But console connection is used for management purpose. So what do you mean by management purpose? Like, for example, if you ask me, Wasif, what is, I'm very confused. They are both cables, right? And we do transfer data. Look, yes. If I show you an example, if you come here, for example, in order to configure this router, if I click here, and if I come to the CLI, okay, the device must be powered on. So I powered off the device. Now it is powered on. You see the green light here. If I come to the CLI, and you will see, like, this is like a computer screen. In the real life, do you believe that you will get a computer screen with a router? No, your router is just a device. If you want to get access to this router, you need to get a computer. You need to connect this computer to the router console. Okay, now look at here. Which port is this one? The one that we have used. You come here. Sorry. So if you come here, this is RS323, RS232, RS232, and which is connected to routers console. Okay, not USB, not gigabit, Ethernet, console. Okay, now come here, desktop. If you come to the terminal, and you see here is the same thing, is the router. So if I can show you, you see this is what you have here, and this is what you have here. So this is from the router, this is from the computer. In the real life, you don't have this. Okay, in the real life, you don't have this. So you need to work like this way, and this is console cable is being used. Now this is the console cable is used for management purpose. Now the question is, what is meant by management purpose? In order to manage the router, in order to configure the router, in order to configure the device, in the same way, if you want to configure the switch, you need this one as well. Okay, now very important, a few things from here as well. So if you look at here, labels, I always recommend when you do something, make sure that you use the labels. Labels are not only used for that. For example, if you have configured, okay, it is also best practice. Like if you have done some configuration, you can copy the configuration and you can put it here as well, so that when a teacher sees this like this notes, he knows that like for R1 you have done this configuration. So a quick scan can say actually what's the problem. For troubleshooting, it becomes much more easier. Okay, labeling is very important. Now if you want to look at my mouse cursor, it is a normal cursor. Now if you want to delete something from here, come here, click, and you see the cursor of the mouse has changed. You can just click here, delete, yes. But if you click somewhere, it will get again deleted. So you need to make sure that your cursor has changed to the normal. So you can click here, or you can press escape. Now you will be testing at some point in time after configuration. You will be testing devices. So you can click here, sending from here to here. Look, there is no connection, there is no IP address. It will not work. It will not work now. Okay, it is not workable. But if you click here, you will be able to see the results here. So make sure that this is expanded, because if it is closed, you won't be able to see the result here. If it expanded, you can see the result here. Sometimes it takes time to like for example, once you configure something, it takes time to get the configuration working properly. So you may have to wait. If you click this one, most of the time fast forward will make sure that you don't have to wait that long. Now also simulation, you can see different simulations here. For example, after sending packet from here to here, you will be able to see the simulation, and this is the real time. Physical, if you want to see the physical, you can go there. Okay, I'm not getting into these things at this point in time. So for example, you can have a computer, you can have a router. So you'll see some of the topologies. There will be, you can go to the physical and you can connect to the cable, like see things physically. Now here you can see physically, but you cannot see the back of the routers. You cannot see the port of the routers. You cannot see where it is. But in the physical, like in some of the packet tracers, you will see like they will set the things in such a way. Like for example, if you look at here, this is the computer, right? So you see this is another PC here. Okay, and there will be like a server, it is connected. Okay, so if you go there, you see this is the router that we have. It is going the video is going too long than expected. So this is more or less okay about the packet tracer. To start with the packet tracer, now it is one of the important things. One of the important things is, if I get another switch here and let me connect. So what type of connection between the switches is crossover. So let me grab this one, this one. Now you may not see these options. So what you need to do, options, preference, always show the port labels, always show the port labels in the logical workspace. Now this is very important, okay, because at the beginning, for the first time, you would never see this one. But once you set this, as long as you don't uninstall and you don't reinstall the packet tracer, it will always be there.